Yo, what is up? What is up? Listen, you got the Padres closing out a homestand today. You got what happened. You got what happened yesterday. Excuse me if you hear me talking to myself. Uh Hold on. This thing smells fishy. Welcome to the John Browner Podcast. I'm John Browner. This is something we do Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is a good day. This is a good day. This thing stinks. And that was grand. I think you know what that was grand about. Slam Diego makes a triumphant return in the second inning. Are you starting to feel what I'm starting to feel? Are you starting to feel what I'm starting to feel about the Padres? We'll get into that toward the end because I told y'all we try to take care of other things on the show before we get to that. Hello. Good morning. As always, like, share, and subscribe to the show. The show is available via Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Kick. Shout out to my Twitch and Kick bots. They will be here later in the show, as they always are. Shout out to my chat pack who co-hosts this show. They chime in, and we always run down what they're talking about at some point during the show. Always, always, always subscribe to the pod. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. The John Browner Podcast at JBP, we are on the road to 500, and we are cruising at the speed limit. I would like to be speeding, but we're cruising at the speed limit toward our goal. Our trajectory is 500, and we're going to get there. I can give you a projection, but I don't like projections. But we're going to get there because we're rolling. If you want to reach the show, all you have to do is head over to your email account and the John Browner Podcast at gmail.com if you have any business inquiries. I have a stand-up show coming up, so I'm going to start talking about that recently. I have two shows coming up, actually. One in August, one in September. If you have any anger you want to send me, please, the John Browner Podcast at gmail.com. Any long-form conversations you want to have that you think is too big for the chat, John Browner Podcast at gmail.com. That's where all the bills go for this show. So I open it every day. Ava Bot is here. What's up, Ava? So let's get down to business. Normally, I start this show with let's start here. But I can skip over let's start here because the breaking news early this morning is that the Los Angeles Lakers were sold for $12 billion by Mark Walter. If you remember correctly, it has been little over 14 months before Mark Walter became the primary owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. This thing stinks. Mark Walters is also under investigation by the feds. And again, this is going to help this is my conspiracy theory. You don't sell these teams. You don't sell these teams because you've got a court case coming up. Mark Walters, in less than 14 months, in little over 14 months, made $2 billion worth of profit off the Lakers. Interesting, one might add. If you're going to go to a court case, there's no way you need $2 billion to defend yourself in court. Mark Walters has enough money without selling any of his assets to defend himself in a courtroom against any charge. The attention I want to call to this is who he sold the team to. Mark Walters sold the team to, let me get this straight. I want to make sure I pronounce the Kushner version of this name properly. He's the brother of Jared Kushner. You know, Trump's son-in-law. In this administration, what's the fastest way to get out of trouble? Ask Tiger Woods. What's the fastest way to get out of trouble? Now, Mark Walters clearly loves the Dodgers deeply. And the Dodgers just print money. So that's off limits. Again, he has enough money to defend himself against any charge possible. So if the Kushners and the Igers were interested in purchasing the Dodgers, that was not on the table. But the Lakers. But the Lakers, on the other hand, Mark Walters doesn't have that level of affinity, closeness, championships, success. The Mark Walters group that owns the Dodgers, they understand this thing is printing its own money. And coming to America, one of my favorite scenes is when they find out that he is Prince Jaffe Joffa. And the daddy yells to the daughter, he got his own money. The Dodgers got their own money. The Lakers, on the other hand, they do not, my friend. I believe Mark Walters sold this team to Kushner and Iger to get in proximity to Trump to get rid of whatever it is he's being held accountable for. Bob Iger owns Disney. The fact that Bob Iger owns Disney, he also owns ESPN. ESPN's largest television partner is the NBA. The NFL is on everywhere, damn near at this point. Bob Iger is a large participant in the success of the NBA. There is no way in high hell Mark Walters should have been able to sell this team to the guy who owns the television network that puts the teams on TV. This thing stinks in every direction possible. I don't have any evidence yet. Pablo Torre, I guarantee you, is working on it as we speak. This team was sold to, again, let me make sure I get the Kushner brother correct. Josh Kushner, brother of Jared Kushner, son-in-law to Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. This was not this was not an accident. This isn't some, business deal that they've been hammering out for months. Mark Walters has only owned the team for 14 months. The Buss family owned the team for damn near 50 years. These aren't things you sell when you need cash. He just bought it. So for people who think Mark Walters needs to sell this because he needs $2 billion to defend himself in court, buddy, I don't know what kind of lawyer he's hiring. Mark Walters has enough money in his couch at the house or under his mattress in his bedroom to defend himself from these charges. You cannot seriously believe that he sold the Lakers because he wanted to gather his nest egg to defend himself in court. You don't need billions of dollars to defend yourself. What do you need, 100 lawyers in the courtroom? This court case against Mark Walters, this was going to be a very, 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 very long legal fight. This was going to be a large uphill battle with Mark Walters, and I think it's the FCC. Hold on, let me make sure I pronounce these charges correctly too. Mark Walters is being investigated for billionaire financier and sports team owner Mark Walters is under federal investigation by the U.S. prosecutions in Manhattan and the SEC regarding approximately 16 billion to 17 billion in undisclosed related party loans and private credit investments tied to his insurance company, the Guggenheim Partners. The key aspects of the investigation, the core issue, okay, stay with me because this is very wordy. Regulators are examining whether Delaware Life Insurance Company and Clear Springs Life and Annuity Company failed to properly disclose that billions in placeholder-backed private credit and loans went to ventures connected to Walters and his holding company, specifically meaning that he used these assets to sell and purchase the Lakers, maybe. I continue. The disclosures. Internal reviews prompted by the probe revealed that the related party invested accounts from roughly 39%, that's more than $17 million, of Delaware Life's assets, far higher than the 3% originally reported. So they lied about investing 17% or 14% of the money. So they're saying that they roughly used 39%, which is the 17 billion that he's being charged for, when it was only supposed to be 3%. So 39%, so that's 36 more percent. Okay, the broader scope, the inquiry also stems from an earlier whistleblower complaint concerning revenue bookings at the Guggenheim Partners asset management arm, where Walter serves as the CEO. Now, no criminal charges has been filed against Walters, and his representatives have stated that they are cooperating fully with authorities. This is not business advice I'm giving any of you. I'm just reading what the charges are. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on television. I just think this thing stinks. You don't sell the Lakers for lawyer money. $17 billion of I don't want to say embezzled because embezzled sounds like a very heavy word. You sell the Lakers for $12 billion. You up against it for $17 billion. I'm sure he's got another, I don't know, $5 billion somewhere laying around the couch to make this thing whole. David P., you are correct. He needs an interpreter. He needs somebody to be like, yo, you did what with my money? What you talking about, Willis? Bro, Mark Walters clearly did something he wasn't supposed to with that money. The fastest way, again, he has not been charged with any crimes. I want to be very specific in saying that because I don't want them coming after me because I'm broke, big fella. I ain't got nothing to sell for $12 billion to fight the charges. He has not been charged with anything. These are just simply things he's being investigated for, okay? But what's the fastest way to get rid of an investigation? What's the fastest way to get the SEC off your back? What's the fastest way to get U.S. prosecutors in Manhattan off your back? You sell the Los Angeles Lakers to the Trump family. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. If you're listening to this show, hop in the chat. You ain't got to be you ain't got to be a part of the chat pack. Hop in the chat via X, hop in the chat via YouTube, and you tell me I'm wrong. So they've been investigating Mark Walters for a while. I give it half the time they've been investigating him that this is now going to magically go away. They're going to give him a very tiny slap on the wrist. They're going to give this man, those slap bracelets, whoosh, that level of slap on the wrist, bruh. He's going to get a slap bracelet on the wrist, whoosh, and all this going to go away. You sold the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the 4 flagship organizations in professional American sports, to the Trump family. And you didn't think this would look weird? Or maybe you don't give a shit. Maybe again, allegedly. It's not alleged he sold it to the Trump family because Kushner is he's part of the Trump family. He's married to Donald Trump's daughter, and we all know Donald Trump loves his daughter way more than his buffoon sons. Sorry. So if you don't think this is going to come up at Thanksgiving, like, come on, man. Come on, man. When the Dodgers showed up at the White House to celebrate their World Series, Donald Trump got a big, fat championship ring from Mark Walters. Now Mark Walters sold the Lakers to the Trump family. You can call it the Kushner. Again, because I want to make sure we get names correctly around here. You can sell the team to Josh Kushner. Cool. If the president wants a cut of that, you don't think this coming up at Thanksgiving? You don't think this coming up when they're golfing at Bedminster or one of the various places that he owns? You don't think you're going to see the Trump boys now at Laker games? Listen. Michael Pennis, listen. I've expressed this many times. I'm telling you, it was sold to the brother of the son-in-law. Yes. Do you think there's a distinction between the two? And this is where I crush the media all the time. You play dumb game, you win dumb prizes. If you don't think that this is connected, if you don't think Mark Walters specifically choosing Bob Iger and the Kushner brother to purchase the team, then okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. You're better than me. This thing stinks. There were no rumblings about this. There was no quiet corner conversations around the league about the Lakers being for sale. There was no chatting about the Lakers could be purchased by somebody. This came out of nowhere this morning. So there wasn't a lot of people. Okay, so let me also explain to you how these things get out. So when a team is up for sale and the conversation gets out about the team, that happens because too many people now find out that this team is for sale, and people with a lot of money start running to the gate going, take my billions, take my billions. That's how this works. And I'll get to the Dodgers because Double M forever. Listen. Double M. Will Guggenheim sell the Dodgers to someone else down the road? I'm going to get to this next. So bear with me. I'm going to get to this next. the reason why oftentimes teams being for sale leaks out into the public and it starts getting reported is because there are too many people involved. This was a direct line to these two people about purchasing this team. Because if not, the Lakers, imagine if the Yankees went up for sale, how many people would attempt to buy that? How that would be news everywhere. No one knew about this. This is like the Luka trade. And what happened in the Luka trade? The GM for the Dallas Mavericks, now fired, called the Lakers owner, called the Lakers general manager, Rob Pelinka, and said, hey, man, I want to trade Luka for AD. Just to you, me to you. We're not involving anybody else in this. We don't need a third team. I'm giving you Luka. You give me AD and some contracts to make this even. I don't want no picks. You see what I'm saying? You see how that sounded? You know how crazy that sounded? When they traded Luka to the Lakers, you went, what the fuck? For that's it? We knew nothing about this until Ramona Shelburne reported this morning, and now $12 billion have now on the way of transferring hands for the Los Angeles Lakers, and no one knew. And you want me to believe that because it's being sold to the brother of the son-in-law, somehow Trump will not get involved in this. Buddy, you don't know Trump. If there's money to be made, Donald Trump will show up. Which Kushner brother owns it is irrelevant. They're part of the family. They in-laws, dog. This thing stinks, buddy. Michael Pittman says, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Just don't hear you say brother rather than his actual son-in-law. I get your point and it's spot on. I agree. I'm just saying. Yeah, I appreciate that. We want to be clear. We want to be 100% clear. And that's why I keep going back to the name of, well, I already lost it. That's why I keep going back to Josh Kushner. Josh Kushner is the Kushner brother who purchased the Lakers with Bob Iger. I don't think that Bob Iger should own the team either. Bob Iger owns ESPN. He owns ABC. He owns Disney. Therefore, he is a operating arm of the NBA, and who gets to be on ESPN and the ESPN networks broadcasting games. That sits right with y'all. This thing stinks. Now, let me get to the Dodgers portion of this, because this is a sports show, and the Guggenheim partnership group, they're involved in this heavy as well, but he runs the part of it that's involved. The Guggenheim people own the Dodgers, so in turn, Mark Walters owns the Dodgers. I don't think the Dodgers are in any danger at all whatsoever. That's why this was sold to Kushner. Follow what I'm saying. The Lakers were the sacrificial lamb to make this go away so he can continue to own the Dodgers, who print money. The boy got his own money. The Lakers were sacrificed. Now, in a week, if the Dodgers sell, I was wrong. In a month, if the Dodgers are sold, I was wrong. I don't think I will be. See, people won't tell you this on television. You're not going to hear this level of speculation and accusation on ESPN. Bob Iger owns it. You're not going to hear this level of speculation on Fox. It took the super with the MLB took 5 months to sell the Padres. The Lakers sold overnight. The MLB took months, by the way, still haven't approved the sale of the Padres. Mark Walters sold the Los Angeles Lakers, to Bob Iger and, check's name, Josh Kushner, overnight. And you don't and y'all think this is on the up and up. Some of y'all still think this is on the up and up. You have got to be shitting me, buddy. Ain't no way, no how, as Rob Parker says. Shout out to Rob Parker. Met him a couple times. Nice guy. Buddy, the Dodgers are safe. The Dodgers are not in play here. The Lakers were the sacrificial lamb. And Mark Walters gave Trump the championship ring as a, I see you soon, Mark Mark Walters, buddy. Welcome to Ass Island, big fellow. Welcome to Ass Island, Mark Walters. This dirty, buddy. This is dirty. Now, somewhere Mark Walters, when he comes in, his boat will probably be a little better when it come to check him in. And we gonna probably have to build something near the ass crack that's more palatial for him. But, buddy, welcome to Ass Island. Stamp that thing for show. Buddy, something not right about this, man. And I think I know. I don't need an investigation. I have eyes. Allegedly. Thank you, Graham. Graham's my counsel. Allegedly. I don't need a 8 month. I don't need a Clipper like investigation. I don't need 8 months to smell something. There's no way you sell this team that fast and the word doesn't get out. Like, we knew the Lakers were for sale. We knew people who were in line to purchase the Lakers. We knew this. We knew the Lakers were for sale when Mark Walters bought them. We knew this didn't come out of nowhere. We didn't wake up and go, oh, whoa, hey, oh, Jeannie sold the Lakers to who? The Dodgers owner? That's crazy. We knew that Mark Walters, wanted to purchase the Lakers, and we knew Mark Walters, had the most money to do so. This happened with no one knowing, and it happened at the speed of a New York minute, which is interesting because the Manhattan DA is investigating him. My point in saying that the Dodgers are safe, I'm saying the Dodgers are safe because Mark Walters sacrificed the Lakers to make sure that he can get in the ear of whomever he needs to at the SEC and at the U.S. Prosecutor's Office in Manhattan. Again, Mark Walters has not been charged with anything. I want to continue to make that very clear. And I know y'all might be tired of me saying that, but I don't have any lawyers. Mark Walters has not been charged with anything. He is under investigation by the SEC and the U.S. prosecutors in Manhattan. He's under federal investigation. Okay? But that don't stop me from speculating. This is all speculation. The only facts I know is that the thing was sold. This is all speculation. I'm speculating. I'm going to even pronounce the word wrong. I'm going to ebonic the word so even if they can't get me. I'm speculating. This is speculation. You will probably see Kushner in the box at the Lakers game before you see the Padres ownership sale gets approved, man. That's embarrassing, but that's a different conversation. I just want y'all to know. This thing Stinks. Just look at the way the White House has behaved when it comes to pardoning people. Just look at the way the White House has behaved when it comes to charging people. Now, Mark Walters will be remembered. I just point. No, I didn't. I did this things. I didn't point at my name. Did I? Anyway, that's not the point. I'm talking about Aunt Esther for people listening on the pod. Donald Trump remembers when you give him a gift. And Mark Walters gave him a big fat ass diamond ring championship. Trump loves a winner. Trump loves a winner. So if you don't think that this has something to do with the investigation that is occurring, again, invested, not charges, investigation that has occurred into Mark Walters and his business practices. I got a monorail I want to sell you that I saw in the Simpsons episode. Come on, y'all. All together now. We got to be smarter than this. As a group, I know we don't like to collide sports and politics. I know we never want to do that on this show, and that's a promise that I made. We will not. This is not a crossover space. It has to be a very important time for me to cross sports and politics together because that's poison. It's oil and water. But this is fitting. I love content. And I couldn't have got a better gift this morning. The Padres hit a grand slam against a team I've been screaming that this is the type of team you need to make a statement against. They make that statement, and I haven't even gotten to it yet. We've been doing this pod for 32 minutes because this is a massive story. When this investigation into Mark Walters quietly goes away, and Mark Walters is, issued some fine of, $50 million, which, remember where you heard it first. And this is not one of those things where like, oh man, you just want to be, this ain't, I'm not giving you, factual points of a case. I'm telling you from observation of following politics, how I've seen the Trump administration work the second time around with the people who they've prosecuted and the people who they've let out of jail. The people who they've put in jail and the people who they've let out of jail. The people who they've allowed to sue the government for millions of dollars. I'm watching all of this. If you think that this won't somehow relate to the investigation, not charges, the investigation into Mark Walters, then, buddy, you're the type of person that they're looking for. They want to sell you something. Because there ain't no way you can't walk away and know this. You have to know this. This has to be fair. Again, in normal circumstances, in normal times, Mark Walters would not have been able to sell the Lakers to Bob Iger. Because let's just start there. Bob Iger owns Disney. Bob Iger owns ABC, which is Monday Night Football, and NBA on ABC. Bob Iger owns ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN8, ESPN News, ESPN.com. All those things are owned by Bob Iger. Therefore, that large of a media arm, which, by the way, is one of the largest partners in the television deal with the NBA. So normally, under normal circumstance, Bob Iger's ability to purchase the Los Angeles Lakers wouldn't even exist. It's a conflict of interest. As technology, I appreciate the chime in and the correction. Bob Iger is only the chairman of the board of Disney. If you don't believe that he is the de facto owner of it, okay. What I'm trying to do, I'm presenting ideas, my ideas. You tell me what you think of them. I appreciate the corrections. And I appreciate people sharing with me the actual positions and Bob Iger's actual position currently, which is on the email. If you get an email from Bob Iger, it will say chairman of Disney. It will not say owner of Disney. But who's in charge? Who's in charge? Who cannot be fired? Bob Iger has no business owning the Los Angeles Lakers. None, zero, nada. I get that he likes basketball. If Bob Iger loves basketball, the thing that normally would happen in a situation like this, if Bob Iger wanted to own the Los Angeles Lakers, Bob Iger would have had to sell or denounce his chairmanship at Disney and at ABC to then purchase the Los Angeles Lakers for whatever the amount would be. So therefore, there's no conflicting ideologies. There's no conflict of interest. If I'm Mark Walters, if I'm Bob Iger, I own the Lakers. How do I raise the profile of the Lakers? I'm gonna put them on television every single chance I get. If I'm Bob, if I'm the chairman, if I'm Bob Iger, you can now watch Disney. You can now watch Laker games on Disney Plus and Hulu. Why not? If I'm Bob Iger, I'm going to put all the Lakers game on the Disney app. Why not? I own the team. Yeah, Spectrum's awesome. That's cool. I get money for that. Yeah. But also, bang, now I'm going to put them on Disney Plus. Now I'm going to put them on Hulu because my goal is to grow the brand of the thing that I own. And how much bigger can I get the Los Angeles Lakers? Let's find out because I own all these television products. I also determine how often you see them. So that, yeah, man, he's the chairman of the board at Disney. Yeah. That's true. But if you don't think he's in charge, if you don't think he runs shit, okay. Okay. God, this thing stinks, man. This thing stinks. And I'm going to tell you again before I get to my next story, before I roll this over to the Padres. Before I roll this over to the Padres, shout out to the Sporting Tribune. The show's broadcasted on the Sporting Tribune's X channel. Shout out to all the people taking in the show today. Please do me a favor and subscribe to the show via the YouTube or follow me on my X account or continue to follow us on the Sporting Tribune because I work there now. So, yeah, boy. But yeah, man, this thing stinks, bro. Hold on. I'm getting a call. It might be Bob Iger. He might want to buy this show. Let me see. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay. Bob Iger does not want to buy this show. My kid gets out of school early today. To recap, Mark Walters sold the Los Angeles Lakers for $12 billion 14 months after purchasing it for $10 billion to Josh Kushner, brother of Jared Kushner, son-in-law of Donald Trump, and Disney chairman of the board, Bob Iger. And I think this thing stinks. To recap, I think the Lakers were sold as a sacrificial lamb. I think the Dodgers are safe. I think this thing was done because the Dodgers print their own money, and Mark Walters had no intention of ever giving that up. Mark Walters didn't sell the Lakers to fight legal charges because he needed money. The man's a billionaire, and ain't no lawyer, no case go cost you $1 billion to fight because that ain't how America works. I mean, it is, but it's not for those type of people. So at the end of the day, I believe my speculation is very simply, I believe that the Lakers were sold to the Kushner and Iger group because I believe that Mark Walters wants to make sure his investigation goes away. And the easiest way to make sure your investigation goes away is to get in the proximity of Donald J. Trump. I believe Mark Walters' investigation will either result in a slap on the wrist. By a slap on the wrist, I mean like a $50 million fine, which to you and I would be devastating, and we would cry somewhere in a hole in a very dark room. For him, he will go, yeah, which one? Swipe one of these cards. Rich people play a different game. They really do. So we got to get our money up. We got to get our money up quick, baby. But in totality, this thing stinks. You know it. I know it. They know it. But sometimes you just got to do things quick and keep moving. The best thing that they can do now, the Dodgers better start winning again. The Dodgers better get it together now. Because y'all, they need this story to go away. All of a sudden, don't be shocked if the Clippers investigation comes to an end. Don't be shocked if the Clippers investigation comes to an end, because now you need another story. Now the NBA needs another story. Something's got to get in front of this. Something's got to get in front of this. That's all, man. What a crazy story. What's crazy also was what happened last night with the San Diego Padres. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for a situation like this. The Milwaukee Brewers are 74-46. Before they came into Petco, they were 72-44. 4 games ahead of the Cubs, who are scorching. The Padres have put belt to ass in Petco on the Milwaukee Brewers. This has been impressive. I can't lie. This is what I was asking for. The Padres' performance against Milwaukee has been pretty impressive. Again, they dodged their best pitcher. But this is more about what the Padres are doing and not what the Brewers are not doing. The fact that Walker Buehler was able to give you 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run given up. The fact that you had a grand slam in the 2nd inning, you had a home run from Fernando Tatis Jr. And Tatis was a guy who they were screaming about, where's the power? He's not hitting any home runs. What's the deal? What's the problem? Now he's hitting the ball, booming home runs. Fernando Tatis Jr., the balls that he were hitting earlier were hit at a rate higher than anyone else was hitting in baseball. They were just outs. Or he was hitting the hardest singles and doubles in the league. I think the singles he had hit up to one point were the hardest hit singles in the league, and no one was even close. The ball just couldn't get any air under it. And I said we have to reimagine how we watched Fernando Tatis play baseball. Fernando Tatis Jr. has been the best player on the Padres from beginning to end, beginning to this date, August the 12th, and it's not even close. What you have now seen, though, is Manny Machado come out of whatever that slump was he was in. What you've now seen is Jackson Merrill bring the power back to the table. He's starting to swing. And the one thing I said about this team is that when the people who you pay start hitting, buddy, we gonna have a winner. And now you look up. Now you look up at the Padres and you see Joe Musgrove may be returning. Robbie Ray looks like he's going to be able to hold his own. Casey Mize, his second outing, was much better than the first. Hey, listen, hold on. Soup. Soup says, nah, man, you put it on the board when you jumped off the wagon. Get back in line, bro. You're the person I had the conversation with, bro. July 2nd. Where is that? There it is. July 2nd is when I jumped off. July 2nd. Soup, you've been around here long enough. But ain't nobody running from what I said. They were playing like ass. Complete, total ass at the time. They were playing like complete and total ass. They got beat, I think it was 22-6. I can go find the stretch in which I told you they ass was cooked. And by the way, they're still not out of the woods. So I'll get in the back of the line. Because that means I could be the first motherfucker out the line. Again. But I give credit where credit is due. They are cooking. The Padres are cooking. And my job, as long as I'm watching them and giving content to you about them, is to be honest about what I see. I let y'all do the fan version of this. I got to chastise him when I got to chastise him, and I got to pat him on the back when I got to pat him on the back. Manny Machado was batting 160, bruh. Jake Cronenworth was batting 140. At that point in time, the Padres were the lowest batting average in Major League Baseball. What do you want me to cheer that? Y'all want to cheer that? Y'all want to reward that below mediocrity? That's not even mediocrity. Yes, I'm going to talk shit about that. Yes, I'm going to give them hell when they bat 140. And you making $300 million. Yeah, I'm going to come for you. Somebody got to. You tripping, Soup. You know I got that board back there with that July 2nd date on it when I said they were smoked. The last 5 games. Let me get rid of this. The last 5 games. They lost to the Astros 6-3. 3-2 over the Astros, 7-2 over the Astros, 3-2 over the Brewers, 11-2 over the Brewers. And you got one more coming up at 110 today because you're going for the sweep. And this has put you in a position that we all been waiting for. There's now a 3-way tie in the wild card between the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres. You now got your hands on the wheel. You control your own destiny. You now got your hands on the wheel and you control your own destiny. Ain't that grand? That's what we all wanted, correct? Isn't this what we all wanted, for the Padres to have their hands on the wheel, in charge of their own destiny? Now you're at a race to the finish. Now, from here on out, you have an opportunity to end the season, regardless of what got you to this point. You now have an opportunity to race to the end. If you play better than 2 other teams, you will make the playoffs. I started this series saying, don't get swept. They're a game away from sweeping the best team. I think this is, let me make sure. Hold on. Let me make sure I get this correct. 73, 61, 72, 70. The best team in baseball. The Padres are a game away from sweeping the best team in baseball. We always knew this is what they had in them. We just didn't get that. And that pissed a lot of people off, rightfully so. We knew the Padres always had this level of performance in them, but the fact that we were not getting that level of performance out of them was upsetting. It was upsetting to you. It was upsetting to me. And rightfully so, we criticized their ass. Rightfully so, we criticized their ass. I don't know why this is. I don't know why this crazy. I don't know why that was hard for y'all to soup. I don't know why that was hard for you to get. I was surprised you weren't critical. They're not firing AJ Preller after. Come on, dog. After this, after a run like this, who got those pitchers? AJ did. Yeah, like you got to remember, the pitching staff was decimated when you found out there was going to be no Yu Darvish this year. Nick Pivetta goes down, and Joe Musgrove has some type of setback when his rehab. To now, he's again. It's August the 12th. We still haven't seen him pitching in a Padre uniform on the mound. So what kind of conversation are we really having about this situation? I'm telling you, the Padres pitching staff was so bad it started making the bullpen look bad because you now started taxing these guys more and more and more. And now we sit here on August the 12th. You're tied. You're in a three-way tie for second place in the wild card. And now you have an opportunity. You got Joe Musgrove coming back. You made a trade for Robbie Ray. You made a trade for Casey Mize. And Michael King has been outstanding for you all year. If you get Joe Musgrove back, that's 4 frontline starters that you have to go out there and do something. I don't know if Nick Pivetta comes back, that's 5. I don't know if we're going to have Nick Pivetta because the last time we saw him, he threw a tantrum and walked off the mound. And, Tommy Diecast says new owners coming on Monday, maybe. Maybe. I won't hold my breath on that. I'll have to see that to believe that at this point. So, up next, and Tito's right. Let's dive into this too. Up next, it's not like it gets harder for the Padres. It gets easier. This is why I was so fired up about this particular series because after this is what happens after. Where's my schedule? Let me see. Where's my schedule? What's happening? What is this? Okay, let me see. I'm trying to make sure I get the games that they have left. So after this, they got Cleveland for 3, the Mets for 3, Minnesota for 3, Pittsburgh for 3, Tampa Bay is the next tough test they'll have down the road for 3, Cincinnati for 3, the Yankees in Petco will be fire. I already told you I'm going to one of those games. I don't know which one yet, probably the Saturday afternoon game that's on Fox. But the Nats will be out of it. The Giants will be out of it. The Colorado Rockies are already out of it. Miami will be out of it. The Dodgers will be packed and ready to go. And Arizona might be, smoking that vacation pack by the time we get to that point. So I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I feel like something's happening. Just like on July 2nd when it felt like something was happening negatively. It feels like something's happening. It feels like something's happening positively now. You might get Joe Musgrove back. You might get Nick Pivetta back. You now have Robbie Ray. You now have Casey Mize. You now have Michael King. That could be 5 starters you going into the postseason with the best bullpen in baseball and the best closer. And now you have these guys hitting. And now you have the guys you giving, well, one of them, 2 of them, $300 million to. Now you have those guys hitting. Oh, I'm counting Miami out, by the way, Stu. I like it. I like it, man. You can't be mad at this. This is beautiful. This is how you want the end of the season to look. This is shaping up like they're going to have a healthy run at the postseason. And if you get into the postseason with Joe Musgrove, Nick Pivetta, Michael King, Robbie Ray, and Casey Mize as your starting pitching, I like that against anybody. I like that against anybody. Period. That's all. If you don't like it, then you just nervous. If you don't like it, you nervous. We might listen. Hey, listen, Affy. Leave Musgrove in the bullpen. Okay. Now, okay. I wouldn't be against that. Imagine putting Joe Musgrove in the bullpen for the playoff run. Imagine having Joe Musgrove coming in the 7th inning. And then you put, whoever, because again, I will say this until I'm blue in the face. If the Padres have the lead in the 8th inning, the game is pretty much over. That's because we don't have anybody to give the ball to in the 7th inning that you can really trust to get 3 outs. If Joe Musgrove becomes that guy in the playoffs that you give him the ball in the 7th inning, oh, yeah. If we get to the 7th inning with the lead, the game's over. I talk my shit on that all day long. I will pop my shit all day long on that particular subject. If the Padres get to the 8th inning with the lead, the game is over. The problem is they oftentimes haven't this year. As of recently, they have been. And look at the results. Look at the results. Now, one more thing here. And one more thing leads me back to the first thing we talked about. Because I just saw a report from Bill Scheiken, who covers the Los Angeles Times. He works for the Los Angeles Times covering baseball. Mark Walters has no plans to sell the Dodgers after unloading the Lakers. Who told y'all that an hour ago? Who told y'all that an hour ago? Me. That's all, man. That's all. Shout out to the chat pack coming in hot today. I appreciate y'all all day, every day. Lots of great. Shout out to Ass Technology. Shout out to Carlos Galvez. Obviously, the Rigby family always in the building. Shout out to Tito. Shout out to WVC Smirks. Ava Twitchbot showed up. Shout out to Ava Twitchbot. Soup came in the building. Double M forever. My legal counsel, Graham. Aunt Esther. Michael Pennis. David P. Shout out to y'all, man. Way to grind today with me. Way to break this news. Way to have my back. Way to make sure I'm pronouncing things correctly. A lot of love in the show today. A lot of love in the show today, man. A lot of conversation. A lot of people stopped by the show today. We did real good with the numbers. I could see them. Shout out and love, man. Shout out and love. That thing stinks, man. That thing stinks. I didn't even have to pop the trunk today. That's crazy. But Mark Walters, welcome to Ass Island, buddy. You might be the richest man there. Allegedly. Allegedly. That's insane. That's insane. This man sold the Lakers for $12 billion. Shout out to Ryan Miller. Comment of the day goes to Graham. Stop the stink. Stop the stink. I don't think you can stop the sale of the Lakers, but Graham gets comment of the day. I wish I had something to give you. When I get these Ass Island stickers, I'll give you one. Tito, I'm working on these Ass Island stickers, man. I told y'all we got Ass Island stickers on the website, but it costs $8 to ship them. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I can't let y'all pay $8 to ship no damn stickers, man. That's on me. That's on me. And because of that, now I got to get a bunch of free stickers. and find a way to give them out to y'all. I think I'm going to try to set up a fantasy football thing. Or I might try to get all y'all to come to the Yankees game with me. I might need security at that Yankees game. I might need security at the Yankees game. Who want to come with me? As the great Tom Cruise said in Jerry Maguire, who's coming with me? I might need some security at that Yankees Padres game. Who's coming with me? Comedy night coming up, man. I got a call today. At the end of September, I'm doing a stand-up. I'm doing stand-up at Long Ball, which is in Mission Hills at the end of September. At the end of August, I'll find out today if I'm part of a charity event doing stand-up. Habitat for Humanity to build homes in Mexico. So I'm gonna do some stand-up, hopefully, and we'll try to get some tickets going, raise some money to build some homes for people who need it. But I might need help at that Yankees Padres game. He might need security. He might need an escort. I'm just fucking with y'all. I ain't scared of these bitches. I'm just joking, man. Fuck these hoes. I'll beat the shit out of these people, man. Respectfully, of course. Y'all have a good afternoon, man. I'll see y'all. Don't sell nothing if you can. Peace.